Think about this for a second. Wouldn't it be great if we could afford all the things that we needed and still had money left over to go out and do fun things with? Well, today I'm here to persuade you that minimum wage should be raised. To fully understand this issue, we must look at the shared problem, viable middle ground solutions agreeable to all sides to improve this issue, and finally, I will discuss the mutual benefits all would experience. Let's jump into some of the problems. Well, for starters, the cost of living continues to go up, but our pay stays the same. And according to BLS.gov, April 12th, 2022, since the beginning of 2022, prices across the whole country have gone up 2.1%, which is a total of 7.9% since last year. For example, I go to the store, buy a pound of chicken and some vegetables, and that usually runs me around $9. Now I find myself paying closer to $11, $12, which in that instance, it isn't a huge increase, but like if you look at the car industry or any industry really, rates and prices have gone up substantially, and I don't see how people who are getting paid minimum wage are expected to survive. Secondly, workers are being overworked and underpaid. According to Lexington Law, March 5th, 2021, 43% of Americans feel they are underpaid for the amount of work they do. When workers are overworked and underpaid, studies show an increase in negative mental health, lower productivity, and overall negative physical well-being. Now that we have looked at some of the problems, let me provide you a middle ground solution that we can all agree upon. Let's just begin to pay people enough to at least match inflation. If people were getting paid a little more than enough to get by, they would be less stressed out and probably happier and healthier overall. Secondly, what we could do would be lowering the cost of living expenses such as housing, utility, and especially gas. Come on. If raising minimum wage isn't an option, then I believe this is the next best thing that we could do. Now that we've established the shared problem and viable solutions that could improve the situation, let me describe the benefits all would experience. Well, for starters, workers would be more inclined to show up to work with a good attitude. That would be good for the business overall. It would be good for the morale and the camaraderie of the employees that work there. The manager would probably be in a better mood most of the time, not having to get upset with people because everyone's doing their job, because they're in a good mood, because they're getting paid enough to live. And I think that would just be a good look for the company overall. According to afflico.org, if minimum wage continued to grow alongside inflation, minimum wage would be sitting around $24. That's almost a little less than double what it is now in the state of California, which I believe is 15. Another thing would be if the prices of everything dropped, there would be more opportunity for startup companies and smaller businesses to get their foot in the door, and alongside that, people would be able to afford living, and they would be less stressed out. Today, I try to persuade you that minimum wage should be raised. To fully understand this issue, we looked at the problem, viable middle ground solutions agreeable to all sides to improve this problem, And finally, I discussed the mutual benefits all would experience. So hopefully next time Congress and politicians and whoever decides to make the rules on how people get paid in the economy, they'll come up with a better strategy and to keep minimum wage rising alongside inflation, so that way we can at least afford gas. Thank you.